y'all. It's me, Marty. What are you doing down there? Okay, sorry. Okay. There we are. Sorry, lighting isn't the best right here. Like this. Is that better? Could go like this. Is that better? Kinda. It just kind of lights up my messy bunk. How about just the ambient? Little ambiance. That looks kind of weird. It doesn't really light me up anymore. Let us go with this. That looks good. The sun will be rising over in the east in a little bit here, so hopefully it'll rise in the east. We don't want it rising in the west. That wouldn't be good. I'm just gonna hold my coffee for a little bit. Oh, so good. Oh, it smells good. You ever just take time to smell coffee? You got to slow down and just take time, not only to smell the roses, but to smell the coffee. Oh, it smells so good. Oh, it tastes so good. Anyway, good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy February 17th, 2024. Welcome to another Whittle Chat with Marty. So, it was just a little series I started a couple weeks ago, and or a few weeks ago, I don't know. I just thought I'd do it on Saturday mornings, kind of to just kind of replace my live stream. I'll do live streams again someday, we'll see. But just as a little Saturday morning kind of thing, coffee and chat, and I thought I would, whittle a little bit, with a knife and a piece of wood. So I did the first one a few weeks ago, something like that. And I was going to start doing it every Saturday morning. But then, I haven't done it anymore. And I uploaded a whole bunch of other videos, and then I did a couple other new videos. And anyway, here we are, episode 2 of Whittle Chat. A Whittle Chat with Marty. So, yeah. And the first one I talked about just whittle. Just take time to whittle. It doesn't always have to be something. Just take your knife and a stick and just whittle and enjoy it. It's relaxing. Today I want to talk about just a little bit about spoon carving. So, and how I got into it and how I do it. Oh, there's the sun already. It's a little overcast, but it's not completely, because I see some sun shining over there. Yeah, and you can see it snowed again. Yeah, it's like the third morning in a row I woke up to snow. It was dry and sunny when I went to bed, but it's not a lot, maybe an inch, but just enough to make the road slippery. But I am in Garden City, Kansas, and rolling south from Minnesota to California with a load of frozen turkey. Genio turkey, or Genio Hormel now. I think Hormel bought Genio, something like that. Oh yeah. And I wear gloves when I carve. It's just safer. If I'm just gonna whittle, I'm not gonna, too much. But if I'm carving spoons or doing, caricatures or other things, I'll wear gloves. These are Kevlar gloves. They're not real expensive, but they got some metal in there, a little bit of protection. So I'm gonna whittle a little bit here, or I'm actually gonna sharpen a little bit here, and just talk as I'm doing it. And you can see a little bit here, but so. Actually, I'm going to start with my other knife. Before I start carving a spoon or caricature or anything, I strop my knives. And, I'm not a professional sharpener or anything like that. As a matter of fact, I haven't sharpened any of my knives really. I just strop them, and it keeps them sharp. And if and stropping is just taking a piece of leather. I just took an old belt. and I glued it to, I scroll sawed a piece of poplar, and a little handle on it, and it's the bottom side, the rough side of the leather, and then I put some stropping compound on there, and then you just strop it like this, and you can either go one direction 10 times, then the other direction 10 times, or you can just go back and forth, and it just keeps the blade sharp. If you get a nick in your blade, or if it gets dull, you'll have to use a stone. I'm not real good at that. I haven't learned to do that well. I have done it a couple of times on a couple of different knives, but not much. But if you strop them all the time, they stay sharp and a good edge on them. And yeah, so before I start carving, I just strop them. So I'm stropping my Mora detailed knife. Again, this is like 12, 14 bucks. A great knife. I've been carving my spoons, a couple of 100 spoons in the last few years with the same knife, and I've never sharpened it. I just strop it. So yeah. So I strop before I start carving. So, how I got into spoon carving. So one of my favorite YouTubers, he's not on YouTube anymore, Mike Barton, he had a YouTube channel called Bushcraft Bartons, and he's a super guy. He's a really nice guy. I've talked to him through Messenger, and I consider him a brother, even though I've never met him. Sorry, the angle's kind of weird. I turn it down so that you can see me carving a little bit, but then I want you to be able to see me. Sorry, I'm not a professional videographer. That's the other thing, y'all. Somebody asked me about that. I just make videos to share my life, whatever I'm doing. Okay, it's kind of a vlog channel. I'm not making specific content for anybody. I'm not a professional. I don't have equipment that are fancy. I don't make money on YouTube. I do this as a hobby, and it's just fun. I like to make videos and share my life. I do everything on my phone. I make the video on my phone. I do the editing on my phone. I upload it from my phone. Everything on my phone. Nothing fancy. And I don't script anything. I really don't. Every once in a while, if there's something I want to share, or if I'm doing a live stream, I might have bullet points, a list of things I want to do or say. But besides that, I don't script anything. And everything I do is the first take. Like if I'm going to go for a hike, I say, oh, I'm going to do a video too. So I start recording as I'm hiking. I don't know what I'm going to see. I've never been on the hike before, maybe. And whatever happens, happens. And it's the first take, and that's what I do. And why did I mention that? I don't know. I just went off on the thing there. Yeah. So, yeah, my friend Mike Barton, he had a channel, Bushcraft Bartons, and around the time of COVID, I started watching more videos of, I like YouTube. It's my TV. I don't have TV. We don't have TV at home. We have a lot of movies, but we don't have TV, and YouTube is my TV. And it's my entertainment, and it's where I learn, and it's just enjoyable. I like to watch a lot of woodworking channels and outdoor channels, basically those two, and now music channels and different things, but history channels and just learning and fun things and adventures and stuff. Anyway, I found his channel. I was looking at hiking channels, actually, and I found his, stumbled upon it, and he does a lot of bushcraft, or he did a lot of bushcraft. He'll just take his pack and he'll go for a hike in the woods, and he'll sit down, put a tarp up, he'll build a fire, and he'll make coffee, and maybe he'll do an overnight and make a meal and all different things. Sometimes he shows his gear. He'll share his faith. He's got a really strong faith in God. He's a pastor. He's a super nice guy. Great sense of humor. And he has a lot of really good bushcraft skills, survival skills, outdoor skills, and he teaches and he shows on his videos, and they're just wonderful. I miss his channel. I miss him. He's really good. Anyway, I stumbled upon his channel, and I think the first video I seen, he was carving a spoon. And then that got me interested, and then I started watching all his videos and his camping videos and everything else. So he's a super guy. I hope he'll pop up on YouTube again someday. I miss his videos. I watch his videos on a couple other channels, but his channel isn't there anymore. It got hacked and deleted. But anyway, that's how I got into it. I watched his video, and then I watched a couple other videos. I just basically taught myself. Now, the way I carve spoons isn't the way everybody does it. I'm not a professional. I don't make them perfect. I don't make them super thin. But I like doing it. It's enjoyable. It's relaxing. So that's how I got into it. Finish this and so I do that one, and then I have a hook knife. That's the only two knives I use for spoon carving. A detailed knife and then a hook knife. Now this is a little harder to strop. I just kind of go like that. It's probably not the best way to do it. And these are really hard to sharpen too. But mine stayed sharp. Again, this is the same knife I've made a couple hundred spoons on. And I think I sharpened it one time. Otherwise, I just strop it. Anywho, yeah. So there's that. I need some more coffee. Okay, so the way I'm going to show you the different size spoons and just show you some blanks I have. Actually, hold on one second. I'm going to get a couple of my finished spoons. I did show them in the last video, but I'll show you again. Okay. I had to put them down there. Okay, so, good night. Yeah, I'm in my truck. Most of you know I'm a truck driver. Oh, yep, getting late out now. So, it's 7:15. I'll start driving about 8 o'clock. I'm not in a big rush. I want the roads to clear up. Anyway, all that said. So, the way I start carving spoons, well, okay, the way most guys would do it, bushcraft guys or, whatever, because carving a spoon kind of is related to bushcraft and enjoying the outdoors. It's something you can do in the woods. The way that most guys would do it, and I've done it this way too, is to cut a branch, a log, a little bit longer than you want the spoon to be. Let's say you're making a 7-inch spoon. Cut it to be 10 inches or a foot or whatever the log, and then you put it on edge, and you use a hatchet or a machete. I've done that at home just because I have one. Works nice. And you split the log. I actually split the sides, and then you get a flat blank in the log. That's what most guys do, and then you have a flat blank from that piece of log. And I only use dry wood. I don't use green. It's too soft, and it's like carving celery. That's what I tell people. I don't like it. A lot of people do green carving. No way. And then you don't know how, when it dries, if it's going to split or change. I'd rather carve it dry. Yes, it's harder, but if you have good knives and sharp knives, it cuts so nice. So I only use dry wood. So like if you're in the woods, if you want to do green, cut a branch off a tree. Well, that's not good to do anyway. But a freshly fallen tree that's already starting to get dry or whatever, or you can bring it home and let them dry. That's what I do a lot of times. I'll cut logs and branches, and then I'll let them dry in my shop, and then I'll carve them later and stuff. So then once you got the blank in there, you just draw a spoon on there. You might have templates if you want to have templates, or just draw a spoon. Mine are all different shapes and sizes and stuff. I just like to make them all unique, like I do everything unique, because I'm unique. I mean, look at me. Gotta love it. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. No. Anyway, so you draw the spoon on the blank, that piece of log, and then you take a hatchet. It's a little tricky. You take a hatchet and you start carving basically the basic shape of the spoon with a small hatchet. And you can use a saw to do some stop cuts along the bowl part. And it's a little tricky. I've done it a couple times, but it's not my thing. But that's what you would do in the woods. Okay. I'm a woodworker. I have a scroll saw. Scroll sawing is my favorite kind of woodworking. I don't think we need that light anymore. Sun's coming up, kind of. Plus, there's lights in the parking lot here lighting me up. I don't think that really did much. I guess I'll go leave it for now. Anywho, and so I have a scroll saw. Use the tools you have. So I started pre-cutting my spoons. Okay, so I still take a log and I'll sit on my little deck of my shop. I have a log there, and I'll sit and I'll use my machete and a log, and I'll split the logs. I'll get the blanks, and then I'll draw spoons on them. But then what I do is I use my scroll saw to cut all the blanks of my spoons. So I'll cut the basic shape of all my spoons, and then I have them in bins and they're ready to carve. I do all the rest by hand. And really, you're using a scroll saw to cut the shape. You're basically cutting that by hand too. You're not using a laser or a CNC or anything. You're still, when you scroll saw, you're still doing it by hand. But anyway, so I cut the basic shape of all my spoons on my scroll saw. Then I put them in bins and they're ready to go. I have a couple bins in my shop, and then in the truck here I always have some, because carving spoons is something I can do anytime. I sit in my driver's seat here and I carve spoons, and then I just sweep out the shavings later, or I keep the shavings for my little fire campfire things, or tinder, for my fire kits and stuff. But or I'll sit outside and carve a spoon. So I always have them with me. Yeah, that's how I prep the spoons to carve them. I'm going to show you some that I got here. Basically, when I first started carving spoons, I made a really small spoon, something like this. And this is a oh, I don't know what this is. I think this is walnut, maybe, I think. About that size, really small, okay? And just a small little spoon you can have in your backpack. I call them hiker spoons because I started making them, and I would give them to hikers. When I'm going for a hike, I give them to hikers, or I'd leave them on trail with a little note or something, just kind of fun, a little spoon that you can have in your pack. So just a small spoon like that. And see how it's just flat? And a lot of the times I will pre-cut spoons from logs, or I'll use dimensional lumber to pre-cut the spoons too. I'll do that too. Most of these are actually out of dimensional lumber that I had laying around, but it works the same way. And the other thing is, I did a video the other day where when you cut, if you cut it out of really thick wood, you can run it through the scroll saw and get 2 spoons out of there, 2 spoon blanks out of one. So that works really nice too. You can kind of use your scroll saw as a resaw for spoons because they're short, as long as it's under 2 inches on your scroll saw. So I do that. So that's what I do. I just pre-cut them like that, and they're ready to carve. And then I do the bowl, and I do all the detail carving. But I'm just going to show you some. These are spoon blanks that I have made on my scroll saw that are ready to carve. That's about the basic size of the smaller one that I used to do. Now they're going to get bigger and bigger because I started making some other sizes. And again, I don't really use templates. I have a couple little templates, but I'll vary them. When I start carving them, they get to be different shapes and sizes, and they're all unique and all different. But that was the basic size. Then I started making this kind, you know, it's kind of the same, only a little bit wider, just kind of just, and they're not even symmetrical. And they don't have to be. It's a spoon. Then I started making like this one here, a little bit bigger, a little bit skinnier with a bigger bowl. These are all blanks of spoons I'm going to cut. And then I made this one. I kind of like this one, kind of a soup spoon, because it has a bigger, wider, rounder bowl. So that's the bowl part, and that's the handle, if you don't know. And then I started making these, and I really like these. They're not real big, but they're skinny. I know, you wouldn't get much food on this kind of spoon. I call this my coffee stir. It's just for stirring coffee. Like if you make coffee or tea or whatever, or drink or hot chocolate, you want to stir it. And just kind of a smaller, skinnier spoon. Those are kind of neat. And then recently I started making bigger spoons, and this is more of an eating spoon, a bigger spoon, or this is probably the size of a tablespoon. Matter of fact, I think I might have used a tablespoon to make this original pattern. And now I'm starting to make some bigger spoons for like cooking in the kitchen. Yeah, they're getting bigger. So this is more of a cooking spoon now. Now you could stir a pot, chili or soup or whatever. And then I got a bigger one than that even. Look at that. So I'm throwing spoons here. You know, that's a good big one to get into a big pot. Yep. So I have some different sizes of spoons. Those are all blanks ready to cut. Here's a couple of finished ones. Again, they're not symmetrical, you know, or anything. They're just unique and different. That's what I like to do. This is yellow birch. I believe this is yellow birch, which is one of my favorite woods to make, whether I'm using yellow birch logs or yellow birch lumber. It's really nice wood, and I get good deals on it at Menards, and I like the branches. They just got some really pretty grain and color, and yeah, I really like the yellow birch. And see, I make my spoons a little thicker, right? I don't make them super thin like a lot of people, and it's not perfect. It's not. They work. It's just kind of fun. I don't know. That's the way I like to make spoons. And then here's one of my coffee stirrers. Again, it's smaller, it's skinny, it's not perfect, it's not symmetrical at all. But look at that pretty grain. Was this dogwood? Yeah, this was dogwood. Our cousin gave us some dogwood from an old tree that they cut down, and it looks really pretty, and it's super hard, really hard to carve, but once you carve it, it's nice. So that's 2 spoons I have finished. So I'm just gonna. Okay, this is, yeah. Oh, this is mahogany, actually. So I'm just going to carve a little bit and chat a little bit more. I want to keep this under 30 minutes, but that's basically how I carve spoons. You know, the different steps I take, and then as far as getting them ready to carve. So the first thing I do is I carve the bowl. That's just the way I do it. I carve the bowl first. And just take your time, use controlled cuts, be safe. Carving, it can be dangerous because you're using a sharp knife. I really enjoy it because it's relaxing. Just take your time, and when you're doing the bowl, you don't have to take a lot out. Just take a little bit at a time. And what I usually do is kind of go around the perimeter first. That's what I do. Again, there's a lot of people out there that have spoon carving videos. Watch them. Don't learn from me. I don't do it like everybody does, or even the majority probably. I do it just the way I like to do it. And again, mine are not symmetrical. They're not perfect. They're not super thin. But I think they turn out nice. And giving a lot of them away. And I just enjoy spoon carving. Actually, yeah, I don't know. I can't tell if this is mahogany or walnut. I think this might, yeah, I think this is walnut. It's a little harder. It's just enjoyable. I really enjoy woodworking, and I like making gifts for people and doing different things. I don't like to do what everybody's doing. I like to do different things. I like to do a lot of word art on the scroll saw, and make puzzles and games and names and different things. You know, even if I do something that everybody's doing, or a new pattern from a book or whatever, or popular thing, I'll even put my own twist on it, just to make it different and unique. I like to be unique and different. And I just keep turning it, is basically what I'm doing. Now, I'm not going to carve this whole spoon because I want to end the video in a little bit, but I just want to kind of show you and talk about the different steps. I love the sound a sharp knife makes in hard dry wood. Yeah, I would never cut wet green wood. A lot of people do, but you don't know what it's going to do later. It's going to dry and crack, and then what do? This is already done. It's dry, and it's a little harder, but if you have sharp knives and good tools, and these aren't even expensive, you know, but they're decent, you know, it cuts really nice. And just take your time and enjoy it. Now, I got to start on cutting the bowl, you know. And here's the thing. Think of a spoon. How deep is a spoon, really? I mean a metal spoon. You know, what are they? Silver or nickel, or I don't know what they make. Silverware, the cheaper stuff, you know, or whatever, whether it's cheaper or expensive, none of them are really deep. The bowl part, it isn't really deep. Yes, metal, of course, you know, metal, they make them a lot thinner. I leave my spoons thicker just because wood is more fragile. So if you do them as thin as a metal spoon, they're easier to break. Some people do, a lot of people do. I just don't. I leave mine quite a bit thicker than a metal spoon. So they don't have to be real thick. You know, it's enough to grab. Really, when you're eating, you're grabbing a scoop of food. I mean, it's almost like it doesn't have to be a giant scoop to get the food in and get it to your mouth. You're basically just balancing it on the utensil to get it to your mouth. So it doesn't have to be super deep. Again, I'm not going to carve this completely, but I have some other spoon carving videos if you want to watch. But I got a good start on the bowl. I'll do some more. I'll do it a little bit deeper, but not a whole lot. I'm going to go to detailing now. So the first thing is I want to take some of the back off and swoop it down. And yeah, this is walnut. So I know you can't see, but I'm doing it between my legs. Don't do it toward your legs or toward your groin area. Don't ever do that. I'm doing it down, away, and do controlled cuts. And yeah, when you're taking off a bunch of wood, you got to kind of get in there, but just be careful. I'm basically holding the knife and pulling the spoon toward me. So again, I'm not going to carve the whole spoon, but just going to show you a little bit. So what I do, I start to carve it down. I start to carve it down like a swoop there. And then I'll start doing the handle. And you got to keep turning the knife, because sometimes, depending on the grain, the knife wants to dig and take out more than you want. And it's kind of weird the way wood goes, and all different woods carve different. Yeah, see, it's wanting to dig in more, so I have to keep turning it. So I pray you're all doing well, and life is treating you well, and God is blessing you. You know, the other thing is, again, I don't like mine symmetrical at all. Every once in a while, you know, I'll do a spoon that's pretty symmetrical and pretty smooth. That's the other thing. So well, honestly, I use a power sander in my shop to sand them usually. Now, if I'm in the woods, I wouldn't. I'd just do it all by hand. But I use my power sanders at home to shape them more and sand them, especially the bowl part. You want the bowl part where you eat, that goes in your mouth. You want that really smooth on the edges in the bowl, on the outside. You want that really smooth. But I'll use a power sander at home to kind of finish shaping it. Again, I do it all the carving by hand, but I'll finish shaping it and smooth it out. Anyway, but sometimes I'll get it really smooth. That's the thing too. You can use your knife to kind of sand. You know, to get round over some edges and stuff. You don't want to do it too much or it'll dull your knife, but you know, and then just, I don't know what this cut is called, where you kind of hold it there and you use your thumb to push. That's what I kind of do for a lot of it. I don't like to do a lot of that kind of cutting. You got to do that kind of on some of it, but even that, be controlled and be careful. Do it away from you. Don't do that any more than you have to. Do it more controlled, light, quiet, easy, relaxing cuts. Just be safe, because when you're carving, be safe. In all woodworking, be safe. I'm gonna quit for now because I want to end this video soon. But yeah, it's already over 30 minutes. I was gonna do it shorter. Anyway, that's not even near done. But I worked on the bowl. I started cutting the back down. I started carving, the handle and stuff. I got a lot more to do on it. And then I will power sand it at home and hand sand it. I'll power sand it like 80 grit, and then 120, and then 80 and 120, and then I'll hand sand it with like 180, 220, and 320. That's about it. And then and a lot of times I'll get it all rounded and smooth, but sometimes I'll leave some different kind of curves and stuff. It looks kind of neat. Leave some of the facets of the knife, the different as long as it's rounded and smooth, and then make sure the bowl part is really smooth to go in your mouth. And yeah, and then when it's done, some people put different things on. Don't put finishes on it. Don't put shellac or stain or any of that, because this goes in your mouth. Anything that's you make out of wood that's going to be in contact with your mouth or food, you don't want to use stains and shellacks and sealers and all that stuff. You want to season it, I guess I like to say. And you can use all different oils, natural oils. That's what people do. And they'll use nut oils. I don't like to, because people have nut allergies, so I don't like to use nut oils. There's other ones out there too. There's tongue oil. There's some different ones that people use. I use mineral oil, basic plain mineral oil. You can get it for $1.50 at Walmart. It's food safe. It's actually a laxative, so it's you can drink it. You can have that problem. I mean, sometimes I do. I don't think I've ever drank mineral oil. That's like, it just sounds like kind of, I don't know. It looks too much like uncooked egg whites or something. I don't know. No, but it is a laxative and it does work. So it is food safe. Mineral oil is food safe. So plain mineral oil, just rub it on and do a couple coats and put it on once in a while. It's food safe, and it really it's good for the wood, and brings out the grain and the color and everything. So that's what I use. I meant just regular mineral oil, and just put it on once in a while. Same with for cutting boards, charcuterie boards, cooksas, little mugs or whatever. Mineral oil works really good. That's what I use on my spoons. But yeah, just kind of a basic. I have a long way to go on it yet. I'll spend another half hour, 45 minutes on it, and then I'll sand it at home, put mineral oil on it. That's how I make spoons, and they're all different and unique, and they're different kinds of woods. Some basic woods. Well, just real quick, a few woods I don't use for spoon carving. I wouldn't use woods that have coarse grain. I like tight grain woods for spoons and stuff. Same with cutting boards, for that matter. So I don't use oak or ash and I don't use exotic woods. I won't use pallet wood or anything like that for spoons. I will use some hardwoods, but they have to be tight grained. So I use I'll do them out of poplar. I'll even do some pine and cedar. Those are great, really soft, and those are good for spoons. You could use basswood because they're easier to carve because they're soft if you're just starting. So I'll do those ones. Poplar, pine, cedar, basswood. But my favorite woods for spoons are, yellow birch. I love birch. Regular paper birch. Regular paper. I need more coffee, y'all. Regular paper birch. Why is that so hard? It's early, but regular paper birch or yellow birch is my favorite woods for spoon carving because it really looks nice and it carves nice. And it's a hardwood. I believe it's a form of maple. And then maple's hard, but it makes some really nice spoons. And cherry. Cherry's hard too, and make some really nice spoons. Those birch, maple, and cherry are probably my favorite because they're really tight grain. You don't want coarse grain where food and things can get in there. Plus, they break out and splinter. It's not as easy to carve if it's coarse grain. This is just my opinion, my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth. But that's what I like. So yeah, birch, maple, and cherry. But I also like to carve walnut. And if I get some unique wood, some other different wood, I like to use that. I got that dogwood. I like to use that. But yeah, that's some woods that I don't use, and a few of my favorite woods. Kind of my system for carving spoons and how I do it. And again, they're nothing special. Each one's unique. They're not symmetrical. They're not real thin like a lot of people's. They're not perfect. I'm not perfect. None of us are perfect. Jesus is the only one that's perfect. So I like all mine to be unique. Like a lot of my woodworking, I like each one to be unique. So if I make something, I give it to somebody, they have something uniquely made by me. It's not like the other ones. So that's just the way I am. And so yeah, anyway, yeah, that's just the Whittle Chat for today. So I want to keep them to around 30 minutes or 45 minutes at the most, once a week. If I can, I'll try to do them every Saturday morning just for a fun little chat and coffee and wood, and whittling. And yeah, I was going to do this one a short one, but yeah, I know it's already longer, but I ramble, y'all. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please, do all the stuff, give it a thumbs up, comment and share, and please subscribe to my channel if you like it. And I have a lot of other videos, and I am uploading some of my older videos now and then. I'll usually put a date on it, but I just do videos, as I go along through life. Usually 2 or 3 or 4 a week, just whatever I'm doing. I'm a truck driver on the road, so when I'm on the road, the videos are going to be kind of on the road stuff. When I'm home, there'll be woodworking and outdoor stuff, things with my wife, and just family things and home things. But you never know what you're going to see on my channel. It's ramblings. It's me. I'm the Rambler. I gave myself that trail name, Rambler, because I ramble on trails. I also ramble as a truck driver, and I ramble as I talk. You all know that. So anyway, I'm going to end this video. One more drink of coffee before I end it. I love my coffee. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.